Welcome back to another great learning video. In this learning video, we're going to look at and check out how to do some consolidated reporting. So a lot of times what we'd love to do when I build a sheet to do these analyses is I like to keep things simple. I add tab colors, like you could right click and you can put tab colors in place to understand what's going on. Like a lot of times what I'll do is I'll create a template. I'll make the first tab the home tab, set that in yellow. You can see the yellow here. And what I'll do with setting the home tab to yellow, and I'm leaving it open because I'm going to do a couple things with a couple other sheets. I'll expand it for ease of use. But here I got my rental business. I'll enter my initials. I'll put a date. The purpose of this is to record revenue for a vacation business. I'm going to put some comments if I have to send to other people to help me out. Notes to help people do things. So maybe I have a couple regions. In this case, I had the Miami region. I wish I had a couple more regions, but I don't. And then some navigation button. So let's take a look at it. It's a summary page. I have vacation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's obviously 6 units here. For each quarter, I have the revenue for each unit sitting inside here for the revenue for all the units, and the quarterly revenue for each unit for the next quarter and for the third quarter. You see they're all symmetric. They're actually exactly the same. If you click on E6, they're exactly the same here as it is on E1. So, the first tab, quarter 1, is the same on E6 as it is for the other quarter. So, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it and say, what do I need to do here? I need to sum quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So let's go to the summary page and start creating this. So quarter 1, I'm going to go equal, hands off the keyboard. Then I'm going to go to quarter 1, and I'm going to click the total for quarter 1 and hit checkbox. Then I need to repeat the same thing for quarter 2. You'll notice this one says quarter 1. And if I were to copy it, it would probably still say quarter 1, right? It would go from E to F. So that doesn't really work really well. So the best way, there's multiple ways of doing this, but we're going to do the easiest way. We're just going to cherry pick each one of these. Go to quarter 2, click the total for quarter 2, and then go to quarter 3. You're starting to see it. Click the quarter 3 summary in that regard, and you hit that. You go over, and then finally click quarter 4 summary, and you can go to quarter 4, and you can pick up the total for that. I had to click a couple times. Sometimes when I record, it doesn't go over. Then I can put a sum here, or I could do a 3D formula. Right now, that was pretty good, right? I got each one of these in, quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. I could have also, after I did the first one, let me just hit delete. I could have also put a $sign in front of the E for a moment. It's really going to stay at the E1, right? And I could have copied them over like this. And then you notice it would have said quarter 1, which we need to make that quarter 2. So if you handle your sheet names well, you can actually just edit the sheet names in here and just change it to quarter 3. And because they're all the same, it doesn't make a difference. The key is to make sure everything's identically the same. Now we have everything summing up and into a total. Now for a total, let's go ahead and do a 3D formula. I love these formulas. Equal sum, open parenthesis. We click on quarter 1, and we click on the cell, which is going to be E6. We hold, my hands are off the keyboard. Then what I do is I hold the shift key down. I click on quarter 4. You notice it highlights quarter 1 colon to quarter 4. E6, I close the parenthesis. I hit the checkbox, and it comes in. And now I have a 3D formula. You know the 3D formula covers everything in between the quarter 1 worksheet and the quarter 4 worksheet, which is 2 and 3. But if I was doing other things, I had 50 worksheets between them, maybe with company IDs, it would do that. Then I'm going to copy this. This is great for setting up a small business. And this time I copied it. I didn't just drag it down because I want to do something different. I want to actually paste special. I want to do formulas. I don't really feel like messing up my formatting so much on here. That way I can paste special and then I just get rid of the copy section, the copy thing I'm in. Now I have a summary page going on. From there I can click back to my first tab, which I named home. You may enter your initials. equal today function is always good. Description, record revenue for a vacation rental business. And I saw something really cool the other day on the web page. If you see, I have it open. There's really the FM World Cup, and I think this is something you could join and do. And you do a college challenge or even a non-college challenge. Apparently, you could do this. So, not my property. This is definitely the FMWC Financial Management Excel, and it's sponsored by some important people. It's worth noting. So I'll just call it out there. There's a lot of challenges. So it looks like it's a fun thing. Maybe I suggest people do it. I'm going to copy this web page, and I'm going to go back to Excel. I'm going to go right click, and I'm going to go hyperlink, and I'm going to choose web page or file. I'll click in how to do a web page and paste that in, and now I did a web page. Comments, and I'm getting ready for this web page. Maybe I can do it at a professional level. I can actually go in and try this. Comments, let's add a comment, a new comment. Comments are very different than notes, and then it's going to be use this as a revenue template. And leave comment here if you have trouble. If I'm making a template for this, I can make a comment to my users, and they can also reply to comments, and we can start different reply, like a whole chain of conversations. Very different than a note. If I right click and I go new note, is start at Q1. That's a note. Then navigation, maybe I want them to navigate something. Maybe I want them to navigate to Q1. So I right click, I put link, and I go this document, and we go to, actually let's go to the summary page, and let's choose cell A2 instead. Maybe we want to go to the summary page. And we change, type in the cell reference, we get this text display. We just say go to summary. Go to summary page. So that's pretty good. And we have the summary page, so when you click it, it goes to the summary page. Well, that was good. So I have some examples. I put a web page in here, go to summary page, hover over, I can see the notes, I can see these notes. I've created this summary page, which is great. Remember, we might have multiple regional offices, which is cool. Right now we're in Miami. We got all these quarters, which is kind of normal. And then you'll notice if I change the revenue down here, make everything, actually let's just copy this and then bring it down and paste special values. I don't want to destroy the formatting. I pasted 30,000 down and changed all the values here. My vacation rental business went over to summary, which is really great. And then I could save this Miami all sections, and it'll be really great. But the other thing that would be good is if I send this out as a template, maybe I have a Tampa regional office, and then maybe I have a Jacksonville regional office for vacation rentals. I wish I had all those kind of vacation rentals. I don't. But if I did, it would be kind of exciting. So let's go ahead and say we do that, right? And what we do now is let's just take this summary page maybe, and I want to bring them in for each one of the regional offices. What I could do is create a separate workbook, right? Right click, move or copy, create a copy, go to new workbook, new book. It's going to pop up my other screen. I'll bring it over. It pops up on my other screen like I thought. I bring it over, and I'm going to call this one Consolidated. File, save as. I'm just going to put my downloads, Consolidated. And now I'm going to put it Consolidated, replace it. And now I have a consolidated workbook, which is fantastic. So when I change a value here, let's say I go back to Q1, and I change this value here from 30 to say 40,000, then it goes up to 50. You'll notice that in the other workbook, it changes to 50, and there's a live link to it. It says Miami sectional, of course, to the consolidated workbook. So this could now be renamed. This is part of your consolidated, right? So this one's just going to be renamed to Miami. Like you might have multiple ones. You might have one Jacksonville, Tampa, and those kind of things. This is Miami and consolidated. I start building it up. So I'm building a reporting system based on these files. So I think that's pretty powerful.